Representative Ilhan Omar, the dumbing of the American people has arrived. How else do you get Trump again? Watch this clip and tell me how you feel. Meaning, literally, how do you feel listening to her? Go ahead, Rob.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
Okay. This is failure to launch, failure to connect. This is her basket of deplorables moment. What she doesn't get, what she thinks that she's representative of what the Americans should be. She's representative of progressive values. She's representative of how we should all be inclusive, and DEI and Somalian pirates should be running around everywhere in America. No. The American people gave a mandate to Trump. How many swing states did Trump lose?
None.
Zero. And Trump, did he win or lose the popular vote?
One.
He won the popular vote. That never happens. So what, again, they need to take a long look in the mirror and be like, this is the lady we want representing us?
First of all, she literally, and it takes a lot, she gets me sick to my stomach. Okay, she hates America. She has done this for the complete and total dismantling of police forces of the United States. She's ungrateful. She's an entitled Marxist. Okay, and she sympathized with the 9/11 hijackers. Do you guys remember when 9/11 happened? She said the quote, "Some people did something." She didn't call them extremists. She didn't call them terrorists. 3,000 Americans were murdered, and that's how she chose to describe it. Okay, just some people chose to do something. And she was kind of bragging that in college she took a terrorist class, and she goes, and the professor, when he'd say Al-Qaeda and Hamas, and she like she was proud about it. Okay, and she's sitting in Congress because the system she constantly trashes. Okay, she came here as a refugee. She was given the opportunities that most people on earth could only dream of, and instead of gratitude, she spits on Americans every single chance she gets. Okay, she called us idiots and all that crap, which drives me crazy. She's ungrateful, un-American. And lastly, let's not forget, she allegedly, and Tucker, everybody's reported on it, she married Ahmed Nursaid Elmi, her full brother. Married him in 2009.
What do you mean, brother?
Wait, what?
Listen, guys, look it up.
Snope this, Rob, real quick.
Snope it. She married him, and I said allegedly, but everybody's reported on it. Married him in 2009.
A stepbrother?
No.
Like a brother?
No. That.
Let's see this one here.
Unfounded. Yeah, unfounded. Meaning they don't want you to find it.
Go a little lower. In 2016, when it looked like Elon Musk stood a chance of becoming the first Somalian Minnesota State Representative, rumors swirled that she had married her brother in an illegal effort to facilitate his obtaining U.S. citizenship. Omar did win a seat, and after 2 years later was elected. Okay, go for it.
So this again, allegedly, this is.
But who did she marry? I mean, this is not.
His name is Ahmed Nursaid Elmi.
Yeah, okay, sounds like a great name.
So ready for this? Married him in 2009, divorced him in 2017. She married him to break U.S. immigration law and defraud the U.S. Okay, if this is true, Tom Homan, if you're listening to this podcast, investigate, and I hope they both lose their citizenship and you deport both of them, because if that's the fact. And then look who she's sitting with. Mehdi Hassan, another anti-American loser who tweeted, you showed it last time, "Make American planes crash again." Okay?
There's no way he said that. Did he really?
Show the tweet if you can, Rob. That's it. And then you know what he said?
That's what this guy says.
That's what he said.
This is a week ago, by the way.
This is a week ago. And you know what he said?
This guy.
You know what he tries to do, Adam? He's
Mehdi
like,
Hassan.
you guys.
Rooting for America's planes to crash.
And you know what he says?
Psycho.
And who employs this guy at this point?
What do you mean?
Because he was on MSNBC.
He got fired.
But who is he on now?
I think it's independent.
It's independent.
Okay.
And you know what that means? Two people that hate America that are sitting in there, by the way. And then he tried to blame, guess what? You guys are racist and you're Islamophobic because of that shit that they're saying. These are the people. Well, this is the problem with the Democratic Party. These are who you guys have, and that's your voice.
Representative of Democrats.
No, these are Democrats, and these are the people that.
This guy is a.
Mehdi is now with the Guardian since last 12 months. Well, Brandon, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, it's just I just have no patience for people who clearly hate America. I mean, there's two types of immigrants who come here: the ones that are deeply thankful for it and love it here, and the ones that have some weird resentment for it and want to see it burned and destroyed.
What percentage of Americans listen to what she says and say, "I agree with her"? Rob, can you go to the clip? Is there a clip of her tweeting it? Because I would like to see if she retweeted that to see what her audience that agrees with her says. Just go to her Twitter account, not to Libs of TikTok, because they're going to agree with Libs of TikTok. Go to her Twitter account and go a little lower. See if she retweeted that. Go lower. No, majority of Americans are smart, hardcore. Now you're changing your script. Go a little lower. Did she retweet her clip?
I don't think she would ever retweet something like that.
Go to Mehdi Hassan. See if Mehdi Hassan retweeted that clip. I just want to know what argument people make who agree with the sentiment that both he and her have. Go a little lower. He didn't retweet that video. I don't know why he wouldn't retweet.
Absolutely not. Oh, there's no way.
No, he didn't retweet. Okay, so then maybe go under the clip of anybody that posted that clip, and let's see what the audience is saying. I actually want to know anybody that agrees. Okay, go to that one. There's a few hundred comments. Go lower, zoom in a little bit so we can see the comments. Okay, Ilhan wants you to remember as she thinks all Americans are idiots. Okay, whatever, go next. This ungrateful, go next. Did she forget? Go next. A sitting member of Congress, unfortunate that go next. She banks her brother. Okay, she worried about comments.
She banks her brother for papers.
Since eradicating Islamophobia and his criticism like Islam has never ever experienced in its. Okay, she's worried about. No, let me go. Sorry. She's worried about common sense eradicating Islamophobia, and yes, criticism like Islam has never experienced. Okay, so that's not positive. Go lower. Trying to see who would agree with what she's saying. There's a would-be jihadist, deport this. So two terrorist sympathizers,
Bingo.
This criminally incestuous, obnoxious dimwit. Okay, these two would not have fared well on the Oregon Trail. Deport, go lower, Rob. Did the beepers go?
Wow.
It is. So, I mean, the point here is I'm trying to see who agrees with what she has to say.
This is where the irony comes in, right? Because she's saying that everyone on the right is essentially dumb, but the only people who agree with her argument are people who aren't based in logic at all. They're only people who they've been able to inflame emotionally. Like, it's insane that they're calling our side dumb when that's the side that literally told you to not even believe your eyes for like the last 4 years. You know, that men, it's fair for men to compete in women's sports, that immigrants aren't causing any harm. Meanwhile, all these stories are continuously popping up about women who are having their lives taken in these situations. You know, that we can actually refer to people as Zim, Zer, and have it be totally normal, that they can have a mandate on language. Like, how are we the side that is dumbed down? It's the iron law of work projection. Anything that they accuse you of is actually a confession. That's what we're seeing.
Well, they're trying to demoralize society. I just sent Rob a chart that shows pride in America by generation, and it's I think we could turn this around, but it's unfortunate to see that like by generation there's less and less people that are proud to be American. Which, I mean, I think that's a lot of that comes from entertainment and education. Which, I mean, a lot of this money that we're seeing being uncovered now gets pumped into that stuff. So there is this active agenda to try to make people ashamed to be American, or say make people think that we did something wrong here.
So this is what 18 to 34 is blue, 35 to 54 is black, 55 older is gray. Extremely proud to be American are the 55 and older. Lowest is the generation. Very proud goes to 35, 54. Moderately, boom. Not proud at all is all the youngins, 18 to 35. Only a little bit proud, the youngins. Moderately proud, the youngins. I mean, sure. The pride of the not being proud of your country and seeing how it reflects with the youth, this is all you get to blame. You get to blame academia. I want to go to the next story here. You get to blame academia. By the way, next story here. Joy Reid gets fired, okay? And she has a very emotional story about her getting fired. And this one is an interesting one, Rob. But let me just first read this story here. MSNBC cancels Joy Reid lefty show as network makes major shakeup. This is a New York Post story. Read out as part of a major shakeup by new network president Rebecca Cutler, according to New York Times. By the way, can you pull up who Rebecca Cutler is? I'm curious to know what her background is. Reid, a longtime Trump critic, has hosted the slot since 2020 after previously anchoring AM Joy on weekends. MSNBC declined to comment on the cancellation, but a source confirmed the final episode will air this week. The time slot will be taken over by a new panel show featuring Alicia Menendez, Michael Steele, and Simone Sanders Townsend, a former spokesperson, Vice President Kamala Harris. Reid's ratings have plummeted by nearly 50% since former President Donald Trump's election victory. And Nielsen's media research reporting that MSNBC's primetime audience dropped 53% since November 5th. Reid had recently gone viral for controversial remarks including telling Trump voters to make your own dinner at Thanksgiving and that should suffer the consequences of your votes. Can you play the clip of her reacting, and then we'll come back and see who she is?
No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See?
What's
you
this
did
guy's
it just
name?
by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry.
Oh no! Wait.
That that what I was doing had value, and in the end, I'm sorry. I try not to cry on TV, and I think this is kind of like being on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you.
Rob, can you go back? Because Rachel Maddow responded and saying MSNBC made a massive mistake, et cetera. Go to the new president. I want to know who that is. Go to the new president. There's an article. I just saw something right there. Ruthless something. What's that Daily Mail article? Yeah, click on that. The ruthless new MSNBC boss who gutted Joy Reid just 10 days after taking the job. Okay, so she called the shot. Rebecca Cutler has officially named, Rob, go a little or I can't read it. So Amazon announced Cutler, 45 years old, was officially promoted on Wednesday, February 20. Mark Lazarus, who's the head of Comcast spinoff company, told staff in a memo earlier, go lower. In a short time, Rebecca was the interim president. It'll be clear to me that she has big picture strategic view and the right leadership skills to ensure MSNBC, Brandon's Lazarus. Since taking charge, Cutler has successfully stabilized the network's ratings following a major post-election decline. The recovery has been largely attributed to the network star anchor Rachel Maddow making regular primetime appearances during Trump's first 100 days. Most recently, as President Cutler canceled Joy Reid. Also this week, network axed another 3 of its stars, showing after nixing Reid's program, who are the other 3 stars? Go a little lower to see who they have. Katie Pang, Jonathan Capehart, and Ayman Mohleddin. I don't know these guys. Have
Jonathan
also
Capehart
been
got fired?
can you see who that is so we know who Jonathan Capehart is? Because apparently he knows.
He's a nice young black man who's
I had the
not
privilege.
young at
He
all.
was the one that cries all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Go
He's a
back to the story.
crybaby.
Let me see the story. So over the last 2 years, I've had the privilege. Go a little lower, go a little lower, go a little. Okay, so go to her LinkedIn if you could. Let's go to her LinkedIn to see what her past is, to see if there's actual changes taking place in right there LinkedIn. So let's see what her past is with MSNBC, CNN. Oh, there you go. It's the same shit.
There you go.
Okay, go a little lower. Executive producer, CNN. What school
Columbia.
did you No, forget about it. It's the same
GW.
thing. This morning, I'm reading an article from 2017, Kellogg. Okay, Kellogg School. Kellogg is known as one of the best marketing schools out there. Rob, if you can go to the story here. If you can just go to the story, click on the link below.
That's
Watch
at
this one here.
Northwestern, is it not?
It's a very, very respectful school. Sitting near a high performer can make you better at your job. It's called a spillover from certain coworkers can boost our productivity or jeopardize our employment. What are they saying? Go a little bit lower to read this a little closer. The people we sit near at work inevitably impact our day. They may brighten our mood or drive us crazy. So for me, like I have a problem here, right? 25. What's more, our work neighbors can actually change how we do at our jobs. Researchers looked at the 25-foot radius around high performers at a large technology firm and found that these workers boosted performers in coworkers by 15%. That spillover, positive spillover, translated into an estimated $1 million in additional annual profits, according to new research from Dylan Miner, an assistant professor at managerial economics and decision sciences at Kellogg. Now watch this here, how this continues. So 25 feet radius, 15% positive, okay? Watch the opposite. The flip side is that bad eggs impact their neighbors too. Negative spillovers from so-called toxic coworkers is even more pronounced, sometimes having twice the magnitude of impact on profits as positive spillover. Yet, while this toxic spillover happens very quickly, it also dissipates almost immediately once that worker is either fired or relegated to the far physical reaches of the company. You can stop with the story here. What is this story about? if you think about a lady this morning, Crystal, who her and I Minnect a lot, she Minnected me today to speak to her son, 13-year-old son. I've met him before. So I sent him a message this morning on the drive here talking to him about what it is to be 13 years old. Yeah, I've been talking to my boys right now about a book I'm reading called Aggressive Girls and Clueless Boys. Every father with boys has to read this book because nowadays girls are approaching guys about sex and flirting versus it used to be the other way around. We had to. Today, girls are the ones that are more aggressive. If you have a son, do whatever you can. Don't look at the ratings. Just go read this book. It's 80 pages. You must read this book. Every parent, it's very necessary for you to read this book. It's 136 pages. So I'm talking to this kid about one of the most basic things you can do in life at early ages to win is choose your friends wisely. Later on in your career, one of the best things you can do in your life is choose your bosses, the company you work with, and your coworkers wisely. You do, you'll grow. You'll do better. You don't, you'll hate the company. You'll hate your boss. You'll be angry at everybody. You'll be walking on eggshells like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And you're thinking it's you, it's somebody else. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people in life are crap magnets. There are people that purely are crap magnets. They cannot help themselves but constantly attract negativity and problems in your life. You got to do whatever you can to avoid those folks. But if you can simply decide to attract better people in your life can improve in every possible way. Many years ago, I wanted to learn how to be a better networker. There was a guy I would work a room with, and I would watch this guy. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a great networker. I'd never seen a networker like this before. This guy was a former hairstylist for Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, and he would go into a room, and it was like, boom, he went from this guy to that guy to this guy to this guy to that guy, and then all of a sudden we're in the office of the CEO's room. I'm like, how the hell did this guy do it? Couldn't believe how the guy would network. What's the moral of the story? Networking has changed. There's been an evolution to networking. But for us, I took many of those things I learned many years ago, and I applied it in business, in raising money, in getting in rooms, and getting guests on the podcast, and recruiting folks who became presidents of the company, CTOs, technology, investors, raising money. But the ability to network is so critical today because there's an element of networking that's also networking and finding your peer group, your friends. There's 8 mistakes people make when it comes down to networking. Next Tuesday at 3 p.m., Tuesday, March 4th at 3 p.m., I'm going to give you a PDF of the 8 mistakes people make on networking. On this webinar that I'm hosting, you can go to vtwebinar.com to register. Again, vtwebinar.com to register. You're going to get those 8 mistakes. Trust me, you want to know what these 8 mistakes are because it's do's and don'ts that we'll cover on that podcast and that on that Zoom. It's a 1-hour Zoom, free for everybody. And I'll share the evolution of networking tools. And also on that webinar, I'm going to give you 3 updates. Massive, massive new features on Minnect that I'm so excited about. And an opportunity for some of you guys to come and join us at Kentucky Derby. So go to VT Webinar, register for it, and I look forward to seeing you there next Tuesday, the 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Registered. We'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.